Hello everyone. Today I'm here with Christian Calcano again. I think this is the first time we make a video together. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Is it the third time?
third, yeah, it's the third time. Our last one was a bit controversial, but yeah, but I'm always happy to be here, so thanks.
You actually helped me a lot because I made a video with you like top 10 Americans, and then I think it was Randy Bueller reached out to me because of that video, and that video was extremely popular. So thanks for that.
Oh, nice.
Not saying that the
Sweet.
video with you was bad. That video was also awesome, but just saying that it was like
Yeah,
really good for me. So
awesome.
today we're gonna do something weird. So Wizards announced the end of professional Magic and end of MPL and everything a couple of weeks ago, and people were going crazy about it. But like 3 weeks passed and no one is talking about it at all. It's like no one really cares anymore. I made a video about it myself, but I just thought that this topic maybe needs like more attention, or I just like didn't think that it was enough. So I wanted to talk to like a different person that might be influenced by that. And today I'm gonna talk to Chris about that. So yeah, what's your thoughts about that?
Well, you'd be right in saying that I'm influenced by that because I obviously am. I mean, I'm someone who played on the Pro Tour for 10 years, and it's sad that, the dream of like playing Magic on a professional level, like it doesn't have to be, something that I don't know, like it doesn't have to be something like full time, but at least like having it be something that you can kind of, you know, like have like income for yourself and take care of things and go to tournaments and stuff. Like that's kind of what the Pro Tour dream was, and the MPL took it kind of to the next level.
Mm.
Even though like there was a lot of controversy and mishandlings with that, in my opinion. But at least the dream of like being a sustainable like professional player was clearly like it was clearly there,
Mm.
and obviously like people didn't like it, so they just decided to scrap it all. And the worst was the follow-up tweet they made where they said that like they weren't gonna support like the professional Magic dream,
Mm.
and that's kind of what did it for me. So I pretty
Yeah.
much like I'm as removed from the game as I've ever been in my life, and I don't know if I'll ever really get back into it like I was like, when you and
Mm.
I were, teaming together for like pro tours and stuff.
Yeah, like, actually, in the announcement, they only announced the end of MPL and Rivals. And if it wasn't for like one of the comments, we wouldn't even know that they don't really plan to go to like any other system or whatever. That's actually like kind of crazy. Like that's I think that's even more important than the end of MPL. But they just
Yeah,
kind of disguise it, or like I don't know. It was like super weird. I don't know.
yeah, I remember. I know. I think it was like I think Paulo mentioned because Paulo made a video about this, of course, and he mentioned in it that there was a lot of things that they had discussed, that they discussed with them that wasn't included in the article
Mm-hmm.
that he thought was like really important. And of course that's when they kind of like elaborated on that with that follow-up tweet, and yeah, it's just I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, I feel like for me personally, I'll probably play like a tournament here and there just for fun. You know me, I'll go to Japan, I'll play some tournament there, I'll go to Europe or something, see some old friends and hang out and stuff, and kind of play Magic just to play. But I definitely like I don't think I can't imagine personally there's gonna be like a huge like drive for people to compete.
Mm-hmm.
Like because there's not like, from the sounds of it, there's not gonna really be anything to work towards to. But maybe it'll just be like a watered down version of the what the Pro Tour used to be, where like it would be like kind of like the same system, but like the money is like way less. Um, and if that's the case, I think it'll get some people to go,
But
but
you
like
you cannot
not
really
like
like consistently qualify for the tournaments, right? So like I understand that it's
well,
like similar in a way, but
yeah. No, no, well, I mean, depends. What I mean is, like, for example, what if they had, like, a way to consistently qualify for these
I
tournaments? Like,
see.
basically, what if they just had the old system, but it's just that, like, the prize pool is just, like, way less, and, like, the perks are way less. Like, they might even have perks or anything. Or they might have perks that just, are good enough to, like, maybe get you to another tournament, but it's not going to be, like, any kind of, like, substantial,
Mm-hmm.
return that will like allow you to be a full-time professional. So you'll basically just be like a Paul Rietzel, who like does has a full-time job, but like plays like all like the pro tours, etc.
But like, wouldn't that be almost the same as gold? I understand your point that the money in the tournament itself might be lower, but I don't actually think that's what they said. It's like they actually.
Well, no, that's not what they said. What they said was that what they said was that they wouldn't support like professional Magic, but that doesn't mean that like the way I interpret that is that like they're not gonna support the idea that you can make a livable income off like playing their tournaments effectively.
I see. So you
So
think
that's
that
how
was
I
like
see it.
you think that was like a disguise for the fact that they're gonna lower the prize money even more.
Yeah, because they also said in that tweet that they were gonna still have Grand Prix and Pro Tour like events. So if they're saying that, that leads me to believe that they're just gonna most likely just bring the tournaments back, but it's not gonna be enough financial incentive for like everyone to show up.
I
So like
see.
someone like Paulo probably wouldn't go because he's not gonna go from Porto Alegre to
I see.
Richmond to play in like a 20K Pro Tour or something.
I see.
You know what I'm saying,
The
right?
way I understood it was that the money might be like similar or even more than what it used to be, but because you cannot qualify, it still might not be worth it for you to go. Paolo
Oh,
also like mentioned that like before the prize money wasn't enough itself, but the fact that you also get points and stuff, made it worth it. So
yeah.
that's how I interpret it, but maybe
I
you're right.
understand. I mean, it's possible. I mean, at the end of the day, like I don't even think they know yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like I think what they do know is that they don't want to have like cuz and what I mean like professional too is like for example like like they're just not going to have a thing where they're paying players directly,
Yeah,
like like the way
appearance
like
fees and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like I don't think that they're ever going to do something like that again because the problem was like another thing about the MPL, right? Was one thing the MPL did for them was that it helped them manage a budget, right? Because they had a fixed number of slots, so they knew that there was only going to be that many people,
Mm-hmm.
so they can kind of work around that. Whereas with the system prior, like Platinum and stuff, if anyone hit the threshold, they got it. So they could only be so right or
Mm-hmm.
wrong, like in terms of like they have to guess how much money they're gonna have to pay people like in a year effectively. And so I understand why they wanted to move away from that. I just felt that like, with the MPL stuff, they just could have like imagine a world, right? Where they announce the MPL, but not that like, hey, here's the MPL and it exists right now and these people are in it right now and like this is what's happening this year. No, imagine in a world where like they announce the MPL and they announce that like the first year like this current year is like going to be all these awesome tournaments, and if you do well in all these awesome tournaments you get to be one of the lucky 32 people in the year who gets a contract. Like I think it would have been the craziest like pro Magic year like ever, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like just so much hype around this, so many people trying to like play at the high, like people were already like playing at the highest level already, and it's just like they were trying to get platinum and stuff, and now it was trying to get like something that was like 3x platinum effectively. So I think that would have been the tournaments would have been crazy, but they didn't do it that way obviously, so GG.
GG, yeah. So why do you think they actually did that? I mentioned it a little bit. Paulo mentioned it a little bit. Do you just think that before we had like all these like streamers and stuff like that, Magic kind of needed some role players, so they kind of used like pros as those role players. But now that we have like other Magic personalities, maybe they think that Magic doesn't really need that. They don't wanna use money that they don't need to use for that, or do you think there's like any other reason?
Well, I mean, I think when it comes to like why they did it this way was because they just kind of wanted to be in the game already. And when I mean in the game, like in the esports game, like you already
No,
have
I'm
like
not
games.
talking about the MPL. I'm talking about the end of professional Magic.
Oh wait, so wait, you're saying
I'm
why do you
asking
think
like
that they're
why they did that. I'm saying that like maybe 10 years ago, like if you were a Magic player, there weren't really any streamers, there weren't really any personalities, so they created like these pros so people can
oh
maybe look up to someone. But now that we have these personalities anyway, maybe Magic doesn't need that anymore.
yeah,
Do you think that's the maybe one of the reasons?
I mean, I'm sure that's probably one of the major reasons, honestly, because like the game is way different now than it was like 5 or 10 years ago. Like you said, like you have people like Crokies, Caleb, um, Hoogland, Nassif, etc. You have all these people who have like these large communities and stuff, and a lot of people get exposed to Magic that way. So yeah, at the end of the day, like the thing is like they had like the Pro Tour before, and I feel like the Pro Tour also kind of like accomplished like something on that level, like because I mean you've seen like people at GPs like always like trying to get signatures from like certain players and stuff like that. They want to take pictures. I remember the first time someone asked me for a picture, I had to look around and I was like, "Wait, you want to take a picture with me?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I'm just like, "Oh wow." That was like an
Mm-hmm.
remember that was in Chile. It was my first time in South America, and it was it was pretty cool that like people from all parts of the world like knew who I am, and they wanted to meet me and all this other stuff. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like that that costs money. It costs money to have like this pro circuit, and if they feel that they're getting even more now, especially through like people that they don't even have to directly pay money to, then they just I think they would just save their money and not have a pro tour basically.
Yeah, it's basically a question of whether having the Pro Tour, if the cost is worth it, and they probably came to a conclusion that it isn't, because I don't actually know how much it costs them to run a Pro Tour. They have like prize money, they have to pay the pros like the flight tickets and stuff like that,
I
and
think a
all of
pro
this
tour
combined is probably not worth the fact that maybe some players will play more because of that.
I think a pro tour, if I'm not mistaken, like this is just a guess, but I think the pro tour cost around like $2 million to run like one PT. Like when it came to like like back in the day, like when it came to the flights and the
Yeah.
parents' fees and the staff and all the they had to like move like all of that stuff from like all over the world and all that. So it costs money obviously,
But
but
some of
yeah,
those,
they
I'm sorry to interrupt, some of those money will be used to run like these big tournaments anyway. So it's only about the extra money. That's like the flights for the players and maybe appearance fees. But like the event itself, and like the staff money and stuff like that, that will happen anyway. So it's actually not like
yeah,
that much.
well, I'm not 100% sure, honestly. Like, I don't know how big these events are going to be. Because, I mean, think about it. Like, even when, like, we were at the height of the Pro Tour, the money, the prize pool, like, almost never went up. Even though, like, they kept making more and more money from, like, events and, these, like, new products that they make. That's another thing. Like, all the other stuff they do now, like, with Commander and um, all that stuff, like, it kind of, makes them more money. So, I don't know, maybe they just don't think that the pro scene is worth it, not even just the money but also like the negative PR, right? Because every time like WOTC OP would mess up in some way, it would always kind of make the brand look bad. So I'm sure there's a lot of factors, and obviously we'll never really get to know all of them, but I
Yeah, I mean
mean
they're also changing their mind like all the time. So they might just go without it for like a year, and then they come to a conclusion that it's actually better for them if they have it, so they might just like come back to something
yeah.
like we don't really know, but
Yeah. I mean, at least, well, they're not gonna have like the league weekend and stuff like that anymore. Like next year, I think all it's really gonna be is just gonna be like, three online, pro tour level events or three or four, I think, I don't know. And then the worlds, and that's it. So it's
my
like,
my concern is that even if they go back, people like before we had Pro Tour for like I don't know how many years, maybe like 25 years or whatever. So if you wanted to kind of commit to that, you kind of assume that it's just gonna go on, right? So you were fine, maybe. I mean, not all the people, but some people were fine with maybe grinding for like 2 years trying to queue for the Pro Tour. But if they like decide to just like end professional player and then they come back to it, people are gonna think like, is it that are they gonna cancel it again? Like I don't think that many people will
yeah,
wanna.
I mean, the trust is definitely lost, I would say.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, like everyone, I feel like everyone feels that way, like from the casual player up to the, the highest level player in the game. Like the trust is definitely broken. I know a lot of like, Siggy also wrote an article about it that, and yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. It's like it sucks too because
Are you
you know
maybe relieved in a way that you just you already mentioned it, I think in my comments or something or somewhere, like maybe it wasn't you, but someone also said that like, they feel similarly to me, that they committed so much time to Magic that they didn't really want to give up, but now that the
yeah
decision was made for them, you just feel kind of a relief that you don't have to continue and maybe you can focus on your actual life. So
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's how I feel. But like, I mean, I love Magic. I love playing on the PT and seeing everyone and playing as the best and all that stuff. But like, now there was other things that I like to do. But since Magic was the thing I like to do the most, I would always kind of half-ass all the other stuff. Like I wouldn't do them as well or as effectively. And now I just get to devote more time to that stuff. So I do actually do feel some sense of relief in a way, especially because like the whole MPL system, the way like was implemented and then the way it carried on, it kind of just, I don't know, it just like I knew the dream was there, but it just felt really unattainable pretty much throughout the whole time that the system existed. So
hmm
even though I got close, you know, so
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it sucks. I mean, I spent so much time like trying to like chase this like dream or whatever, and just
same.
gone, just gone.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'll still, I know I'm always gonna follow Magic in some way, and I'm sure I'll play here and there, like whenever, draft here and there.
It's not the
And
same though. Like the competitive outlet was what
oh
was
no,
what
yeah,
was
yeah,
driving me. So.
no, same here. But like that's why, like, I mean, when I play, it's just like super rare or super random or whatever. But like, I know like my dedication to the game will never be anywhere near the same unless like that competitive,
hmm
system that I can, try to excel at is in place. So, if that ever happens again, then, maybe I'll be like one of the, like one of the old guys coming out of retirement and stuff, getting back in the ring, with the young kids and stuff. But, um, I'll be watching and seeing what they do. But I mean, and like throughout the last 2 years, I like barely watched any of the tournaments anyway, just because of I already felt like some level of disconnect from the system. And then like this is just like kind of full blown now. So yeah, on to other
It's
things.
like so weird for me. Like when I saw the announcement, the first instinct was I just became like really happy, which is like so weird. And I just thought that the sadness will come eventually, but it's just like not really coming. I was like fighting this war with myself that I knew that like I'm getting older, I should like do something with myself, but at the same time in the back of my head I was like don't give up, don't give up. So I was just like fighting this battle with me. Like some month one was winning, the other month was the other one was
Yeah,
winning, and it was kind of like hurting me both ways. So now
yeah,
it's
I
just
feel that. That was like me between like poker and magic, Like I would like try to like, focus on poker and I'd do okay here, but then like my magic would suffer and then I'll be like, no, I want to play magic and then I start playing magic. Like I would always go through like, phases between like
yeah.
my focus shifting from magic and other things. But now at least, magic can kind of be put away in like a drawer somewhere and like maybe I'll open it again someday. So we'll see.
All right, it
Yeah.
was fun talking with you today. Thanks for your opinion about this topic, and
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me, bro.
If you guys like the video, please click on the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.